because it feels good and I don't have to get vulnerable.
It's like, I'm going to just unload on you.
In the name of honesty. I'm just being honest.
And then at the very end of that conversation, that person is now in a spot where they need to have a crucial conversation with you.
You're not expecting to have sex every day.
Welcome back to the car. Last week we talked about taking ownership over your needs and over your wants. And today what we want to talk about is how can you have a conversation with your spouse, a crucial conversation about your needs? How can you, and when do you know that it's time to bring it up?
Right. We love leading with ownership because that's what you can actually control. But when you're in a relationship, your partner's behaviors do affect you. You're interdependent. You're not dependent on your partner, hopefully. And hopefully you're also not independent because you need that interdependence.
Yeah.
How they show up affects you. How you show up affects you. So lead with ownership. How am I contributing to this pattern? But if you find yourself in a situation where, okay, I've looked at my dynamics, I'm trying to heal, I'm trying to lead with my higher self, and my partner is not showing up.
Yeah, there's just some things that I'm not okay with right now.
You've checked your expectations. And you're like, I feel like my expectations are reasonable at this point. Like you're not expecting to have sex every day, right?
I get to lay in a bed by myself all of my life. It's fantastic.
Just every other day.
Right.
No, but in all seriousness, like you have to look at those. You also have to ask yourself the question of, is what I'm getting out of this relationship more than what I'm not getting? Is it worth what I'm not getting? Because we don't want to start fights over things that are petty, like socks being left on the floor, right? Some things are just left better unsaid. How do you know, though, when it's time to say something? How do you know that you need a crucial conversation? Because communication in your relationship is key.
Yeah, and I think it does come back to like ownership. When you're talking about your needs and you're discussing your needs in a way that's empowering for both of you, where neither one of you is getting stepped on, but you're able to come together and actually talk about these things. What you've got is two adults who are taking ownership over their own emotions and being able to talk about the things that they would like to be a little bit different, right? Ideally, both of you are going towards the same end goal for your marriage, right? We want marriage to last forever. We love marriage and we think it's the crucible for growth and human development. And so the end game usually for couples is the same, but how we get there is often different. And that's where we butt heads. Yeah. So that's where these crucial conversations come in. Me taking ownership over that is realizing, okay, there's something that I'm not okay with in this relationship or that I'm seeing in my spouse. And the way that I'm taking ownership is I'm choosing to have a conversation about it now.
So when you have a situation arise where you do need to have a conversation, I call this leading with loving honesty. You do need to let your partner know where you are. Don't leave them in the dark about if you're feeling resentment about a situation that's popping up, a pattern that's popping up in your relationship. Don't be resentful of them. Like they need to know what's going on for you. But what you don't want to do, there's a harmful way to do this. And Terry Real, who's a therapist, he calls this unbridled self-expression. When for honesty's sake, we feel entitled just to throw up and vomit all of our emotions onto our partner and make our partner responsible for how we're feeling. And when we know the difference, because when we're showing up this way, it feels really good. Like we kind of want to let them know.
You feel vindicated.
Yeah, you want them to, like, I feel so terrible. I'm going to tell you how terrible I feel. And I kind of hope that now you'll feel terrible. I'm making you responsible for my emotions.
And that can happen in a enmeshed relationship where you're kind of just passing the terrible feeling back and forth. It's like, I'm going to just unload on you.
In the name of honesty. I'm just being honest. Right.
And then at the very end of that conversation, that person's now in a spot where they need to have a crucial conversation with you. Yeah. Because you're just passing it back and forth.
So it's immature. It feels really good. You kind of feel like superior, like this high morality. It's like, well, I'm doing all of these things and you're just not showing up. You're not pulling your weight. And let me list all the reasons why. And it feels really good. You're offloading onto your partner. Don't do that.
Let me just point out a couple of things that are wrong in those types of conversations, right? The first one is that you are it's a lot of blame and a lot of shame that you're putting on your spouse. You're
Mhm.
pointing the finger rather than taking ownership. And yes, it might feel good in the moment to just get all that off your chest, but it's actually damaging your relationship so much more. So instead, you want to take ownership. You want to tell the whole truth while you have that conversation with your spouse. Take ownership over how you're feeling and what you're experiencing and what you're seeing. Then your spouse is able to respond.
So instead, when you're leading with loving honesty, or as JR said, like telling the whole truth, you don't feel this moral superiority. It doesn't feel good. It's not a conversation you're excited to have. You're actually opening up. You feel raw and you feel vulnerable.
I've never seen you like this.
Like what?
Vulnerable.
And you're not sure how your partner is going to respond, but you know you need to get this off your chest. Like, that's the type of honesty I'm talking about. And that vulnerable feeling, sometimes like we actually avoid these conversations. We'll go into that self-expression, that
Yeah.
unbridled self-expression, because it feels good and I don't have to get vulnerable. I don't have to be honest with myself. And those are the conversations that will create intimacy. And it's telling the whole truth. It's like, hey, babe, I've noticed this dynamic in our relationship, and I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but this is really hurting me. Here's how I'm feeling when when I ask for this specific help and you don't show up for me, even after I've asked repeatedly, I don't feel listened to. And I don't feel like you care about me. I don't feel seen. Like, notice I'm using a lot of I statements. I'm making it about me. I'm not offloading the blame to him. I'm not telling him it's his fault. I'm just saying, here is what this is doing to me and how it's affecting me. And here's what I would like us to do about it. Have a solution already prepared. Because if this is something that you need, it's something you want, then do the work. I call it pre-coaching. Pre-coach yourself through that a little bit first on, hey, what would fixing this look like? Because this is my problem. I'm the one that's struggling with this. I should come up with a solution, and then I can ask for my partner's help with that. But if I just come to him and like, hey, I'm really not happy and I don't feel heard, what? That's very nebulous. How is he supposed to jump in and help solve for my problem when I don't even know how to solve it?
Help me help you.
So kind of get a clear picture for yourself of, here's how I'm feeling. Are my expectations realistic? And if they are, then like, let's go have that conversation, but come into it with a clear direction of, here's how I'm feeling. Here's why. This is me, not you. But here's what I'm hoping we can do about it together moving forward.
Yeah, these crucial conversations work best when you have them frequently and have them openly, vulnerably. So Jules and I have crucial conversations like this a lot. Oftentimes we don't even realize that we're having them. It just kind of naturally, effortlessly throughout the day, Jules will express a need, or I will, or, or we'll just anticipate it because we've been married for a while.
We don't ever let resentment creep up and start to layer.
Right.
Like if we start to feel a little off, we address it
Before
pretty
the
immediately.
resentment. Because what's happening with unbridled expression is you've taken the soda bottle, you've shaken it up, and it's been sitting for a while. You pop that lid, it's going to shoot on out of there. You're not going to be able to control it. So that's why you have those conversations. Often you have them early.
And it's loving. You're doing this because you love your partner and you love your marriage. You're trying to build something better together. And you're like, we're at a stage in our marriage where this just isn't working anymore. Let's build something together, right? And so you have to remember, don't ever come like you're attacking your spouse or they're the problem. They're not the problem. This pattern and dynamic that you've co-created is the problem. And you need to find a solution for it. That's what these conversations are for.
When you really love your spouse, when you're coming from a place of love, it comes across from a place of love. They can feel it. They can sense it. And that's different than when you're seeing your spouse trying to nitpick them or trying to manipulate them or change them because you think once they act differently, then I can feel happy. Right? That's not taking ownership over your emotions. It's, I'm feeling happy. I'm taking ownership over the confidence that I feel. And I love my spouse so much, I want to ask for their help. Now, when you have that emotionally mature relationship, does your spouse want to ride in on the shining horse and be there to help you out when you make a bid for help? Do they want to hear these things that are on your mind clearly And have you expressed them in a way that they can understand? Yes, of course they do. They want you to be articulate and not just expect them to read your brain, but actually say what you want because they want to ride in on that horse. They want to save you in those circumstances.
Go on, boy. Fill these with water. Please.
As you wish.
It feels really good when you've got two loving people who are in an emotionally mature relationship to be able to be there for each other in meaningful ways. Now, in your relationship, is it appropriate to call or invite your spouse to a higher plane if you see them living below their potential and you're not thinking like, hey, this is a reflection on me, right? But you're really concerned about your spouse. You see them in their job and you see them suffering because they're not feeling the same passion or excitement or love that they used to. Is it appropriate to invite them to live a little higher? Absolutely, yes. And here's how that looks in our relationship. Sometimes if I'm seeing Jules in our house and she's getting so bogged down by just the day-to-day, there are times where I can see in my spouse and say, hey, you've been pushing. And for you to live as your highest self, you got to take a break. I want to be there. I'm going to take the kids tonight so that you can get out, you can get your nails done, you can meet with your friends, you can spend some time with them, you can take a weekend off, right? And that's me seeing Jules, who tends to be more of a go, needing to pull off and have a little bit of rejuvenation. She does the same for me when she sees me, and I tend to do the opposite. Sometimes I tend to go a little bit more into self-help or a little bit more into meditation. She's like, hey, for you to be able to be your best self, get up, participate, join in and get out of your head. There are times where you invite each other to step up. But again, that's not me seeing Jules and thinking she's a reflection of me and my ego. That's me seeing a beautiful daughter of God and seeing how beautiful she can be, stepping into her divine potential and helping her do that.
Our partner sees things in us that we cannot see for ourselves, that we're blind to. And I think that's one of the gifts of marriage, because when, we all have these relationships that we could say are kind of superficial, even some of our friendships, like we hang out with them on a really good day when our makeup's done, we're going to go to lunch and we're doing something fun. But in your marriage, you see the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, all of it together. And so your partner can see things in you that you shun away from, that you don't want to look at. And so when you just love that person though with your soul and you trust that your partner wants the best for you, being able to pull for the best in each other is one of the gifts of marriage.
So now as you're listening to us going through these examples, these stories, notice in your own life, notice those spots where there are probably some crucial conversations you need to have with your spouse. Have them openly, have them vulnerably, right? Express what's going on, all of it inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that you do this, the better you'll be at it, right? Push through that awkwardness or discomfort that you've been avoiding, because that's growth. And your marriage will just be all the better for it.
Go love.
All right, go love.
The leaves are falling one by one, yet in your eyes the day's not done.
I had something really powerful, a way that was going, and I just lost it.